have over 130 unread books on my shelf right now. Yes, you heard that correctly. This year, to tackle my TBR, I've read a lot and unhauled a handful so far, but still am overwhelmed with what's left. So in this video, we're not only going to take a deep dive into my physical TBR, but you're also going to help me decide what I read first and who goes to the chopping block. Hello, my fellow friends and bookworms, and welcome to a new video. In today's video, we are not only going to be going through my entire physical TBR, but we are also going to be figuring out which ones I am keeping and which ones I am unhauling. Because as we just established in my intro, I have way too many books on my unread shelves that it's getting a little bit overwhelming. And I know for a fact that I don't need to keep every single one of these books. Like, I'm sure there's stuff on here that I'm probably not going to read now that like my reading taste has changed a little bit. I feel like I kind of went through a phase where I just like book bought in bulk and I just like bookish over consumed, and I really hate that. I'm really trying to use my local library more, read what I have, because although book shopping is an entirely different hobby and it's very fun and very therapeutic, it is also overconsumption. Even though it's a collection, it is still overconsumption, and we are trying to not do that. So make sure you stay till the end of the video, because we're not going to know which ones I'm actually keeping and which ones I'm giving away until the end. But I do need your guys' help because I haven't read these yet. I don't know what's like really worth it and what's not. So if I pull a book off my shelf and you've read it and you know it's really good, please comment down below so I know to keep that one. Also vice versa, if you know one that is kind of bad and you really didn't like it and you think that I won't like it, please comment down below so I know. I do have 2 bookshelves plus a book cart, and the way that I have my bookshelves organized is the first 3 shelves on like each case is unread, and then the last like bottom 3 shelves of each case is the ones that I've read. So this entire section right here is unread books, as well as my TBR cart that I will post a little video of right here. So starting off with books on my first shelf, I have In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. I also just bought this one, so I don't think I'm gonna get rid of this one. This is an adult true crime, and I got it for a specific video that hasn't come out yet, so I am gonna keep this one. Next, I have Love and Gelato, and this is a YA little romance. This one I'm debating on keeping. I think it's like more of a little fiction romance, but it is set in Italy, I believe, so that's like why I got it, because I thought it'd be a really fun like summary read. And then next we have Places We've Never Been, and this is also a little like YA romance, but it is kind of like a road trippy, adventurous romance, because them and I believe a group of their friends are in like a bus or RV of some sort and like doing a road trip. So I thought that was so much fun. Next we have I Hope This Finds You Well. This one is an adult like lit fic, I believe, or contemporary fiction. It kind of gives The Office vibes, and I really want to read it, but I've been putting it off for a while. So maybe I either need to move this to my priority TBR, or I don't know, but please tell me if it's worth it. And then we have Betting on You by Lynn Painter, which I know I'm not going to get rid of because every single YA Lynn Painter book I've read has been a 5-star. On the shelf, I also have Everything's Coming Up Rosie. I actually just got this one, so I'm probably not going to get rid of it, but it is just a super cutie fiction book about a girl who dreams of working on Broadway, and she's about to give up on those dreams when she gets a job opportunity directing a production of Cinderella. Little does she know it's actually for a retirement community, but even though it wasn't exactly what she thought she wanted, is it what she needed? It sounds super cute, and I'm really excited to read this one. And then we have Reggie and Delilah's Year of Falling. This one, Bestie Shaughnessy said, is like better than the movies, and I loved Better Than the Movies, so I trust her recommendation. And then we have Beg, Borrow, or Steal, and this is the 3rd book in the When in Rome series by Sarah Adams. I loved When in Rome. Didn't love Practice Makes Perfect, but I did still like it. So this one I'm very interested to see like how it goes, and I know that this one is a little bit spicy, I think, so I'll just have to like skip over those parts, I think. I feel like the camera is literally so close to my face. Okay, next we have Lonely Castle in the Mirror. This is a Japanese translated fiction about a group of kids that I believe like go through mirrors into this like magical world. I've heard it's very heartwarming. I've also heard it's kind of like Studio Ghibli vibes, so very excited to read this one. This is also another one that I've been putting off for literally so long, so probably need to move it to like my priority TBR. And we have the first one that I think I might be getting rid of, and that is the Christmas Picks by Lucy Score. I just don't think I need to own Christmas books. I mean, you really only read them around Christmas time, and I've had this one for 2 years now, and both Christmases I haven't read it yet, and I'm pretty sure it's on Kindle, so I'm thinking about getting rid of this one. Next, we have The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin. I have not read a Gabrielle Zevin book yet, but I've heard really good things, and I've heard that this one is like very, very emotional, so that's why I'm kind of considering getting rid of it, because I don't know if I could emotionally handle it, even though I know it's probably a beautiful story. So we'll put that one to the side as well. If you think it's worth it though, convince me in the comments. Next, we have The Authenticity Project by Claire Pooley. This one I literally think I got like when I first started reading again, like over 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. It's a super cute fiction book, basically about this journal that I think is like in a coffee shop, and people just write like their life thoughts and stories in this journal, and they're just being like their most authentic self in this journal. And the more people kind of pick it up and read it, the more they like add to it, I think is kind of the idea. It sounds adorable, and I'm definitely keeping this one, but probably need to move it to my priority TBR because like I said, I've had it for a very pretty long time. And next we have Nosy Neighbors. This is a adult, I think it's kind of like a silly fiction mystery type of thing. It involves an elderly person and a younger person, so you know I love books with a good elderly and young alliance. Next we have Book Lovers by Emily Henry. If I'm being completely honest, I've only read 3 Emily Henry books and only one has really been like a big hit for me, and that was Funny Story, so I'm very interested to see how I feel about the rest of Emily Henry's books. Next I have The Book of Lost Names. This one I actually got at a library sale for I think like $1 or $2, but since I'm in my historical fiction era, I thought it'd be nice because I've seen a lot of really good reviews about this. And next we have Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I actually did try to pick it up like years ago, but I thought it was like an actual mystery because it's basically about a person who like tries to rob a bank and then they go into like a vacant apartment or something to hide and then takes people hostage. And it ended up being like a cute, wholesome read if you know like Frederick Bachman's style. So I think I just need to try it again because it does sound really good. And then we have Iona Iverson's Rules for Commuting. This is my second Claire Pooley book that I have. And this is just another like adult fiction book about relationships and community. It's cute, it's funny, it's heartwarming, and you know I just love those kinds of stories. Oh, next we have Anne of Green Gables. I don't know. I'm so bad about this. I've been needing to read this for literally so long. I know it's a classic. Everybody tells me to read it, but I still have yet to. So maybe I'll have to make a video like surrounding reading classics or something because I need to get to this. And then we come to the next books that I think I might be unhauling, and that is Little White Lies and Deadly Little Scandals. This is a duology, I believe, or maybe it's a trilogy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I love Jennifer Lynn Barnes, but honestly, I tried to listen to the beginning of Little White Lies and I just couldn't get into it for some reason. So I don't know if this one is worth keeping or not. Let me know if you've read it. It is a YA kind of little like mystery. Next, we have People We Meet on Vacation. Again, with Emily Henry books, I'm just very interested to see if I actually like them or not, or if maybe Funny Story was just the one that really stood out to me. But I think out of all the ones I have, Book Lovers and People We Meet on Vacation are the ones that I'm most excited to read. And then we have Normal People by Sally Rooney, and I think I might be getting rid of this one. I just don't know if I'm gonna read it or not. A lot of people have told me to, but I just don't know if it's gonna be my style or not because I've heard a lot of really like hit or miss things about Sally Rooney. Next, we have The Excitements, and this one is just another silly, funny kind of like mystery about old people. I just love a good, silly old people mystery, I guess. The next one I actually just recently got when I was visiting Ashley and Ian in Texas, and that is Far and Away by Amy Poelpel. Poelpel? I don't really know how to say her last name. This one is so hard to explain, but it's an adult fiction kind of following like 2 families that basically like switch lives. But it seems that there's going to be a lot of fun, silly, and heartwarming chaos in between all the craziness. And lastly, we have The Puppets of Spell Horse. This is actually a middle grade book, but it sounds really fun and it actually has like really cool art in it. So I don't know. I think that just looks interesting. Okay, now moving to my next shelf, we have As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. This one is a young adult fiction that I've heard is very heartbreaking, but also very beautiful, and I'm definitely going to keep this one. I just don't know when I'm going to read it. And then we have Other Birds, and this one is an adult, I think like fiction, magical realism. Again, a little bit heartbreaking, a little bit heartwarming, and because it has magical realism, I'm like very interested to get into this, and the synopsis just sounds really beautiful. I'm not going like in depth with any of these books because we do have a lot of books to go through. Next, we have Last Call of the Local, and this is an adult romance. The reason I picked this up though is because it does have, I believe, ADHD and OCD rep, so I love a good book that has like neurodivergence representation, and this book looks and just feels so cozy. I think this will be a really good like fall read. And then we have Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry. This is another one that I've been putting off for so long, but I know I need to read it because I've heard really good things about it. I think this is like an adult mystery romance type of thing, which if it's done well, I do love a good like mystery and romance. Next, we have The Lost Bookshop, and this is actually on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm thinking about maybe getting rid of this book, but I did start reading it on Kindle Unlimited and I actually was really enjoying it. I just never finished it for some reason. I was only like 20% of the way through, but it seems very magical and I'm really looking forward to it. But since it's on Kindle Unlimited, I just don't know if I need to keep the physical copy. Ooh, the next one I am actually pretty excited for, and that is Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. I just love good cozy fantasy, especially in the fall and winter months. I feel like this is really what like gets me through the winter, and it's literally about a tea shop basically. So next we have the sequel to Green Wild, and that is The City Beyond the Sea. This is a middle grade book, which I usually don't read middle grade, but I did read the first one and I actually loved it. It was very magical, very like plantish, and I did really like the characters. So if you're gonna read a middle grade book, let it be this one. This is actually like my little middle grade section. Like I just said, I really don't read middle grade that much, but I do own a few books from that genre. The next middle grade that I have is Spineless. This one just looked like such a fun, cute little like summary book. It's adventurous, it's a little bit like piratey, I think, and obviously very like planty and animal-esque. So I just loved the vibes. The next middle grade that we have is a girl who circumnavigated fairyland in a ship of her own making. This one also just sounds very magical, and I think this one was actually recommended to me by a few different people. I did though try to read the first couple pages, and I don't know if the writing style is for me, so I'm thinking about maybe getting rid of this, but I don't know, maybe not. We'll put it to the side for now. Next we have Furthermore, and this is by Tahira Mafi, who actually wrote the Shatter Me series. This one, someone told me reminded them of Alice in Wonderland, so I like immediately bought it. But again, I tried to read the first couple pages and didn't like really get into it at that point, so please tell me if this one's worth it or not, because I'm also thinking about getting rid of that one. Next we have The Ogress and the Orphans. This one was another one that was recommended to me by some close dear friends. It just sounds so absolutely cute and heartwarming, and a little bit magical too, because I believe this town has like ogres and dragons, so I'm definitely keeping this one. Next we have Some Kind of Happiness by Claire Legrand. This one I've literally had for so long, like years, and I still have not read it, but I really want to because I know that it's so heartwarming and cute and a little bit magical as well. So definitely keeping this one and probably moving it to my priority TBR. Although this one does seem like a very good like fall read. Next we have Seraphina, and this one is a YA fantasy and it's like dragons. So, but I don't know. It's been on my shelf for a long time. I've never really thought about it, so I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. And then we have Green Glass House, and this one I think I am going to keep. It sounds very fun. It's very wintry, so I think this would be like a really, really fun winter read. It's basically like a middle grade mystery surrounding this like really cool motel type of deal. I don't know. It sounds really fun. I'm not going to pull these next books down, but it is the whole like Inkheart trilogy. I did read the first one. Again, these are like my childhood favorites, so I did like reread the first one as an adult a couple of years ago, but I just don't know if I'm going to read the rest of the series as an adult, and I think the only reason that I've been keeping them is because they are like my childhood favorites, so it's just very like nostalgic for me. Now going down to the next shelf, we have Vow of Thieves, which is the sequel to Dance of Thieves, which I liked Dance of Thieves, but I wasn't really like obsessed with it, so I don't know if I really need to keep both books or if I can just like read the next one through my library. So thinking about getting rid of this one, but not sure yet. Next we have Dreadful. I do love the like special kind of edition of this, and this one is like a very silly, humorous type of fantasy that is kind of like gothic as well. I think that this would be a great spooky season read, so I think I'm going to save this for October and see if I actually end up getting to it or not. Next we have the Illuminae Files. I've heard great things about this series, but because of the like mixed media kind of format that it's in, I don't know if I'm really gonna like this book or not, so I'm still thinking about this one. It is a young adult sci-fi series that, again, I've heard really good things about, but I just don't know if I could do that format. And next we have This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Mafi. Again, this is the same author that wrote the Shatter Me series. I've heard really good things about this series, and I actually just recently got this book, so I do think I'm gonna keep it. If you've read this series though, let me know how you liked it, because I am really interested. And next we have Scythe, which so many people have asked me to read this, and I don't know why I've been putting it off for so long, because I literally had this on my shelf for a very long time. And this is a young adult sci-fi type of book, I believe. Oh wait, no, I think it's like dystopian. Yeah, I believe it's dystopian. And then next we have the Looking Glass Wars. This one is like a steampunk version of Alice in Wonderland, which, if you know me, I love Alice in Wonderland. So I was kind of on a mission to find like all of the retellings and compare them all. So this one I'm actually really interested to get into. We're moving the camera because that was such a weird angle for me. But next we have Rebel, which is the third book in the Legend series, which is a YA like dystopian series from like the early 2010s or something. I've heard really great things about the series, and I have read the first and the second book, so the third one is just the next book that I have to read in the series. Strange the Dreamer. I've had this on my shelf for literally so long and have yet to get to it, so I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not, but I feel like it's such a good book, so I don't want to get rid of it yet, but I also don't know if I'm going to read it anytime soon. Maybe I'll save this for fall. And next we have A House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. These, I believe, are like YA fantasy horror novels. I've never read anything by this author, so I'm really interested to see like how horror it is, or if it's just like subtle horror. I don't know. I'm just really interested to get into these books, and I do love a good like at sea type of vibe. This is another like at sea type of vibe fantasy, YA fantasy, and that is To Kill a Kingdom. Again, I've had this book on my shelf for a very long time, so please tell me if it's worth it or if I should get rid of it. Next we have A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and this is another young adult fantasy. I've never read anything by this author, but I do believe I've heard and seen some good things about this like on Goodreads and Fable. I think this one might have been a Beauty and the Beast type of retelling, but I could be wrong. Oh yeah, but I think it's from maybe like the Beast point of view. I don't know. Next we have Sorcery of Thorns, and this one is another one that I've been just putting off for literally so long. It is a young adult fantasy, but it has a magical library, so that just sounds so fun. Again though, I think I'm saving this for fall. It just seems like a fall read. And next we have A Dawn of Onyx. I've been meaning to read this for so long because I know Bestie Ashlyn loves it, or really enjoyed it at least. I just have yet to get to it. And then we have one of my most intimidated reads on my shelf, and that is When the Moon Hatched. And if you're wondering why it's so intimidating, because it's very large, but I've heard pretty good things about it, so maybe I'll have to do a video where I tackle that beast. Next we have Long Shadow, and this is actually the third book of the Regency Fairy Tales series, which the first one is Half a Soul. I don't have the second book though, so I do need to get that one, but I am really excited to read the second and third books in the series because I loved the first one. Those ones are very, very cute and cozy Regency era fantasies. Love. Next we have Aurora Rising, and this is a young adult sci-fi book. I actually more recently got this one, and I'm very excited to read it because I've been seriously in the mood for some YA sci-fi. Next we have the second and third books of the Mortal Instrument series. I still haven't read the first one, so I don't know why I got the first 3 books. I think it's because I found them like thrifted, like they were each like $1 or $2, so I just decided to get the whole series, or the first 3 books at least. But I have heard amazing things about this series, so I am very excited to get to it. And then moving to our next shelf, I have part of the Throne of Glass series, so I have Crown of Midnight and Heir of Fire. I have only read Assassin's Blade and Throne of Glass, so I do really need to get to the rest of that series soon. Next we have Ember in the Ashes, and I've heard really, really good things about this one. I'm very excited to read it. It's a young adult fantasy, and one that I really need to move to like my priority TBR. And next we have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I did read, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on what that other one's called? I forgot the name of the other one. Oh, The Starless Sea. I did read The Starless Sea, and honestly, it really hurt my brain. Like I liked it, but it really hurt my brain to read, so I'm a little bit hesitant to go into this one because of that, but hoping that this one is more like understandable and not so like crazy in my brain. Next we have The Girl Who Could Move Stuff with Her Mind. This one just sounds like a very funny sci-fi. It kind of reminds me of Elle from Stranger Things, so that's why I bought it. Although I do also have it on my Kindle, so I'm like debating on if I should actually keep the physical copy of this. Oh, and then we have the first book of the Infernal Devices, which I don't know why that is not with the rest of the series. And then we have The Darkest Minds. This one is a YA. I think it's kind of fantasy, maybe a little bit sci-fi, I don't know. But I don't know if I'm gonna keep this one. I tried reading it and I couldn't really get into it, but it has really, really good ratings, so I don't know. I'm gonna put it aside for now. And then we have Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher, and this one is, I think, kind of a cozy fantasy, but also, if I remember correctly, I think it also has a little bit of like gothic vibes. I don't know, but I really want to get into T. Kingfisher's writing this year, so maybe this is the one I'll start with. I don't know yet. And then we have Starter Villain by John Scalzi. This one is just like a silly sci-fi that I'm very excited to get to. And then we have A Darker Shade of Magic. This one I'm debating on getting rid of because just hearing from some friends and seeing some of the things online, I just don't know if this author is going to be for me, but we'll see. I don't know. I've been really interested in this series for a while, so maybe I'll just have to try the first book and see how it goes. And then we have Beasts of Prey. This is a young adult fantasy, basically like about a magical zoo in a way, so I just thought that sounded super fun. That would be a fun summary read too. Maybe I should get to that soon. And then we have Fireborn, which is another young adult like dragon-esque fantasy. I feel like I've seen and heard really good things about this one. Looking forward to actually getting to it at some point. And then we have Unbirthday, which is another young adult Alice in Wonderland retelling. I don't know if you can see the top, but it is like a Disney like collection of retellings, which I think is pretty fun. And then we have Reckless by Cornelia Funk, and this is the same girl who wrote the Inkheart trilogy, so I already know that I like her writing in her world, but this one is just like a very gothic read, I feel like, so I think that this would be a really good like spooky season read, and it is a young adult fantasy, if I didn't already say that. And then we have Among the Beasts and Briars, which is, I believe, another young adult fantasy, and this is actually by Ashley Poston, who wrote a lot of really, really popular romances. So I'm really interested to see like how she does in other genres. And then we have The Diabolic. This one is a young adult, I think it's kind of like dystopian sci-fi in a way, kind of fantasy. I don't really know where this genre technically lies, but I've seen really good things about it, and it is an older book, so I'm excited to go into it not really like knowing or like hearing anything about it from like a lot of other people. And then we also have The Moth Keeper. This is a graphic novel, very, very cozy graphic novel, and I think I'm going to save this for fall, but I don't know. I've never really read a graphic novel, so I just don't know if they're my vibe or not. Okay, now for our next shelf. So most of these are my mystery thrillers and where my hardbacks start, because I don't mix hardback and paperback on my shelves. So the first one that I have is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, and this one I think I might be getting rid of just because I feel like it's a very confusing book. Like, a lot of people have told me it's kind of hard to follow, and I don't usually tend to like books that are hard to follow, you know? But it does also sound really good. So I don't know, I'm putting it to the side for now. Next we have Killing November. This one is a YA mystery thriller, and this one I think I'm gonna read in November, if it's not obvious why. I honestly love a good YA mystery thriller. I feel like they're not as icky and weird, so definitely keeping this one. And then we have The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. I haven't really heard anything about this. I've seen some good reviews online, but other than that, I don't really know anything about this book. But again, I just love YA mystery thrillers, so I'm willing to give it a shot. Next, we have The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. I've only read one Lisa Jewell book, and I didn't really love it, so I'm a little bit skeptical about her writing, so I'm putting this to the side for now, but please convince me to read it if you think that it's good. And next, we have We Were Warned. This one actually came out this year. I believe it's a YA mystery thriller, and it sounds really good. And it doesn't have a whole lot of reviews yet, so I'm very excited to go into it with a fresh perspective. Next, we have Hidden in Snow, and this one has quite a bit of good ratings online. It is a translated adult thriller. I believe it's kind of in like a mountain-esque atmosphere and in the winter. So those two kind of like characteristics usually put a very suspenseful feel on these books, so I'm very excited to get to it in the winter. Next, we have Little Monsters, and this is a young adult mystery thriller, and this is the same person who wrote The Cheerleaders, but I believe that this one has higher ratings than that book. And then we have We Were Liars. I still have not read this book, and I know the TV show just came out, so I think I might just get rid of the book. I don't know if I'm going to read it. I might just watch the TV show. And then we have The Perfect Divorce, and this is actually the sequel to The Perfect Marriage, I believe is the first one. This one actually got sent to me by the publisher, so I haven't actually read the first book, but I do really want to. I'm just a little bit skeptical about it because sometimes I don't love like domestic thrillers, I guess, if that's the right word. So now going into my hardbacks, the first one that we have is Nothing Like the Movies, and this is the sequel to Better Than the Movies, which I absolutely loved. And then we have The Rose Bargain. This one I've heard really, really good things about so far. I know that bestie Alexa really likes this book, and she said it kind of gives The Selection and maybe The Cruel Prince. I can't remember if that's the two books that she said that it's kind of like, but either way, it looks really good. It sounds really fun, so I think I'm going to keep it. And next we have Wistress, and this book I've heard literally nothing about. It is definitely like a lesser known book, but it sounds very magical. I believe it is also kind of Christian fiction, so you know it's going to be like very clean. I think it's a YA fantasy, so very much looking forward to that. I think that would be a really good like fall going into winter book because the vibes on the cover just give like fall to winter. Next we have The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I don't know if I'm going to continue in the Jennifer Lynn Barnes universe. I do absolutely love her books, but after The Final Gambit, I think is the last one in the Inheritance games, I just felt like her writing wasn't as good, and maybe she was just like popping out books too fast. I don't know, but I'm a little bit nervous to go into this one. I actually tried reading the first couple chapters and I was kind of getting into it, but not like that much, so I just felt like I needed to save it for another time, but I'm just wondering if her newest books just aren't really for me anymore. Next we have Immortality, which is actually the sequel to Anatomy. These ones are such good spooky season reads because they are very like gothic, eerie mysteries in a way. I read Anatomy, I believe, last year, and I think I gave it like a 4-star, so I'm very excited to get to the sequel to this in the fall. Next we have The Wonderland Trials, and this is another one that is a young adult Alice in Wonderland retelling. I actually also did read the first like good chunk of this book a few years ago, and then I ended up getting surgery and just like never finished it, but I am excited to because I feel like I was kind of invested when I was reading it. And the next one that we have is Water Moon, which is another one that I just recently got when I was in Texas, and this one is for another video, so I am definitely keeping this one. Next we have The Grace of Wild Things, and this is another middle grade book, but it's one that has been recommended to me by people that I am closer with, and I've heard that it is so cozy in the atmosphere. It's just something that I would absolutely love, so definitely keeping this one. And next we have Belladonna by Adeline Grace, and this is actually the like Barnes & Noble special edition one, so I don't have the actual dust cover of it. I don't know where it went. This one I'm debating on keeping or not. I know it's like a really fun young adult like gothic fantasy, but I just don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. So I'm debating on that one, but the cover is absolutely beautiful. Okay, now going to our last shelf before we go to the book cart. The first one on the shelf is the Stardust Grail. This is an adult sci-fi. Honestly, I could not tell you what it's about. I got it a very long time ago, but I remember the synopsis was very intriguing, so because I am wanting to get into more sci-fi, I think I'm gonna keep it just because I don't want to like write it off just yet. The next one that I have is another T. Kingfisher book, and that is A Sorceress Comes to Call. I feel like I've seen and heard really good things about this one so far, but I think I'm gonna save it for like fall and winter because it just feels like a very fall and winter type of book. And this is also an adult fantasy, and I believe it's a retelling of some sort. I can't remember what story it is. The next one that we have is The Wild Huntress, and this one I think it gives like fantasy Hunger Games kind of, but it also has some, I want to say it was like Scandinavian or maybe Scottish, some kind of like mythology surrounding it. So I don't know, it sounds really good. It is a YA fantasy, so I'm very interested in this. Next we have Interesting Facts About Space, which I actually think I might be getting rid of this one because I tried to read it and I just don't think that this story is going to be for me. So I think I'm gonna get rid of that one. Next, we have The Dagger in the Flame. Honestly, this one kind of reminds me of Powerless a little bit, and I know Ashton read it and really enjoyed it, and she's been telling me to read it for a while, so I'm definitely gonna keep this one, but don't know when I'm gonna get to it. Next, we have Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley. This one is an adult. I want to say it's like a lit fic, but it could be contemporary fiction. I do believe Haley Pham read this, and I think she liked it. This one, I'm not gonna get rid of because I think that it would be an interesting read. It's definitely one that would be like very out of my comfort zone, but I don't know. We'll see. Next, we have the Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. I have only read 2 Catherine Center books. I've read Happiness for Beginners and The Bodyguard, and I don't know if I love her kind of like rom-com vibe, even though I don't think that this is technically like a rom-com, because I know it does deal with some like heavier topics. I don't know. I just feel like out of the 2 that I've read, I do kind of like her older work, but I don't know. We'll see. And next, I have The Wedding People. Honestly, I really want to keep this just for the cover because I absolutely love the cover of this book, but from what I've heard about it and what I've read online, I just don't know if it's going to be a good book for me to read. I really don't like being sad or like depressed in books, and I feel like this deals with a lot of very heavy topics, so I don't know. This one's like maybe for now. And then we have One Star Romance, which I believe this is an adult rom-com. I think about a girl who's like trying to be an author, and then this guy like reads her book and then gives it 1 star, and then they have to be in like a wedding together or something. It sounds really funny, but I've also seen some like kind of mixed reviews about it, so I don't know if I want to keep it or not. And then we have The Rulebook by Sarah Adams. I'm definitely gonna keep this one because I do really like Sarah Adams' writing, and I don't think I've ever really read a sports romance, so this would be a very interesting like introduction to that genre. And then we have The Murder at the End of the World. This one I'm debating on keeping or not because A, I have it on my Kindle, and B, I feel like I have just heard some mixed things about it, so I don't know if I'm gonna love it or not. So if you've read this one, please let me know if you think that I would like it. Next, we have Louis Penny's A World of Curiosities. I've seen really good reviews about this online, but I've never read, oh maybe it's Louise Penny. I've never read one of her books, so I don't know how her writing is, but because this one had like really good ratings, I think this would be a good one to start with. But this is also like the 18th book or something in a very long series that I think is like an interconnected standalone type of series. Next, we have Lisa Gardner's When You See Me. I don't know if this is a standalone or if it's in another like interconnected standalone type of series, but I already know that I really like Lisa Gardner's writing, so I wanted to get some of her older books as well. And then we have Ruth Ware's The It Girl. This one I believe is like mystery thriller, dark academia type of vibes, which I love those vibes, but this one I fear might get a little bit too icky for me, so we'll see. And then we have Pineapple Street, and I know that Alexander Roslin here on BookTube really liked this book, and I think that this one would be another like fun one that's kind of out of my comfort zone. I think it's an adult like contemporary fiction, but it sounds pretty fun. And then we have The Vanishing Half, which I believe this one was one of the books that kind of like went viral a few years ago. I just still have yet to read it, and I do believe that this one is also an adult contemporary fiction, but it could also be literary fiction. And then the last one on these bookshelves is One True Loves, and this one is by the same girl who wrote Reggie and Delilah's Year of Falling. This one I got from a library sale for like $1 or $2, but I don't know if I'm gonna like this one as much as Reggie and Delilah's Year of Falling, so this one's a maybe if I'm gonna keep it or not. I think I'll have to read the other book that I have by her and then see if I like really enjoy her writing and then make a decision if I want to keep this one or not. So now going over to my actual TBR cart. These are all my priority TBR books, so I know a lot of these I'm probably not gonna be getting rid of. So the first one that I have on my priority TBR is I'm Afraid You've Got Dragons. This one actually Bestie Natalie got for me for Christmas, I believe last year, because we did like a Jellycat exchange, and she got me this really cute like dragon Jellycat to go with the book. So I'm definitely not getting rid of this one, but I am very excited to get to it. And then next we have The Alice Curse, and this is an adult Alice in Wonderland retelling, but from what I read online, it is very spicy. So this is one that I think I might be getting rid of, although I really want to read it because again, I just love Alice in Wonderland retellings, but I feel like it might be a little too icky and adult-ish for me. Oh, and then we have The 10,000 Doors of January, which if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that this has been on so many TBRs, and I just still have yet to get to it. I don't know why, but I'm definitely keeping it because I know I want to read it. Next, we have The Mountain in the Sea, and this one is a very interesting sounding like sci-fi mystery thriller, basically about like sentient octopi, so that just sounds like a blast. And I also love the cover of that book. And then we have The Agathas, which is a very like summery mystery thriller, a YA mystery thriller, and again, love my YA mystery thrillers, so definitely not getting rid of that one. And then we have Hannah Bonham Young's Out of the Woods. I love a good like outdoorsy book no matter what genre it is, so the fact that this is like kind of an outdoorsy romance was perfect for me. It kind of gives Happiness for Beginners, which I loved, so that'll be fun. And then we have Sarah Beth Durst's The Queen of Blood. Y'all know I absolutely loved The Spell Shop, so very excited to get into her other writing. And then we have The Summer of Yes by Courtney Walsh, and this one, it was actually on my favorite book club for last month, but I didn't end up getting to it, but I really want to get to it before the summer ends friends because obviously it's called The Summer of Yes. This is another really cutie one about an old lady and a young person who form an alliance to have the best summer of their lives, basically. And then we have another Sarah Adams book, and that is The Match. This one looks so beyond cute, and I'm so excited to get to it. Next we have Kala, and this one is kind of like a literary thriller, which I don't believe I've read very many books that kind of fall into those genres. So I'm very interested to see like how it's done. And next we have Annabelle Monaghan's Summer Romance, and this one is actually my favorite book club pick for this month. So if you want to read this with us this month, definitely go check out the link down below. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, and everybody says that I would really love it, so very excited to read it this month. Hopefully I actually get to it this month. Next we have The Happy Life of Isadora Bentley. This is a super cute adult fiction book. This is also categorized as Christian fiction, so you know it's going to be a very cute and clean, so very excited for that. And then we have Wild About You, which is another super cute young adult outdoorsy romance. I just love a good outdoorsy book. And then we have The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. I've seen really good reviews about this online. I don't know why I've never read this because I feel like it was a very popular one a couple years ago, but I am really looking forward to getting into more like Chinese, Japanese type of like fantasy. And then we have Holly Black's The Darkest Part of the Forest. Honestly, I love Holly Black's writing. I love Holly Black's world, so I'm always looking forward to getting into more of her books. Oh, and then the final stack down below. The next few books are just series that I'm in the middle of. So the next one is Crooked Kingdom. I did really like Six of Crows, but it honestly didn't stick in my brain as much as I thought I was going to, so I just haven't really been in a rush to read the next one, but I feel like if I wait too long to read the next one, I'm going to be really lost. And then we have the last book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, which is Ruin and Rising. Honestly, I loved the first book. The second book kind of lost me, and I've heard some not great things about the third book, so I don't know if I'm actually going to finish this series or if I should just get rid of it. And then we have Imagine Me, which is technically the last book in the Shadow Me series, but there is a novella right after this. Honestly, this book is just so brutal that I've had such a hard time getting through it, but I really just want to and need to finish this freaking series. And then we have Champion. Wait, I think Champion is the third book, and then Rebel is the fourth book in the Legend series, because this is the next one that I have to read. I'm on the third book. Yeah, so that's this one. And then we have A Natural History of Dragons. This one was actually recommended to me by one of my besties. She said it kind of gave her like Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies vibes, which I absolutely loved, and I love a good book about dragons, so I thought that this would be perfect. And then we have Wings of Starlight, which is, it's kind of like not a Tinkerbell retelling, but it's in the world of Tinkerbell. It's Queen Clarion. It follows her and her love interest. And then the last book is Still See You Everywhere by Lisa Gardner, and this is the third book in the kind of interconnected standalone series of the like When She Disappeared series. So I'm definitely going to keep that because I really do want to finish out that series. But guys, that's my entire physical TBR. But let's go through all the books that I think I might get rid of. So here are all the books that I think I might be getting rid of. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 books that I think I might be getting rid of. And out of those, we have Interesting Facts About Space, The Alice Curse, We Were Liars, The Darkest Minds, Seraphina, Furthermore, The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making, Little White Lies and Deadly Little Scandals, One True Loves, One Star Romance, The Wedding People, The Family Upstairs, The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery, and The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. Out of all those ones, please comment down below which ones I should get rid of and which ones I should keep and why. Y'all need to convince me. But anyway, that was my entire physical TBR. I feel like we made a pretty good dent on my shelves. So now I have about 117 books on my TBR instead of, what, like 130 something? That's a little better. It's still so bad, guys. It's still so bad. But that concludes this very long video. I love you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed going through my entire physical TBR with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah.